This game has a very interesting hybrid of one part of criminal organization and management sim. First part, Heist sim, which from what we've seen rewards plenty of ideas and inspiration for payday. First part shooter, offensive and defensive situations. If you're looking for something fresh that also scratches the payday itch, this might be for you. The gameplay loop. Start off with a random team of characters who you can control or haste or plot missions. Your goal is to control the city and to do what you get the rival gangs out of the way, kinda like Saints Row. However, you'll need to plan your actions carefully, so it's important to factor in the risks versus rewards. Being a roguelike means your team members are expendable, which means it's important to use them smartly as replacements costs a lot of cash, and that's cash you might be wanting investing in other things. The game seems to lean more towards stealth for the missions, as the less attention you draw from the law, the more wiggle room you have to control the city before Sniff Norris kicks down your door and folds you like an omelet. So it is in some ways it's a race against time, trying to get control while not getting your investigation bar maxed out before that happens. Aside from the heist and the other missions that you take over your team on, you'll also have the chances to use your troops to capture rival territories and defend any of your own that get attacked as well. Of course, doing either of those two things costs money and manpower, hence why it's important to weigh your options before committing to an action. Some highlights. The game features a star cast cast. You play as a baker who is Michael Madison, Chuck Norris is the badass sheriff, Danny Trejo and Vanilla Ice. That caught me off guard. It's a rival gang leaders. The crooked detective who will work for your gang is played by Danny Glover, to name a few. The plot is nothing profound, it's your typical gang power struggle scenario after the previous big boss of the city gets bumped off his creating a power vacuum. Still, it's fun and clearly doesn't take itself seriously. Now about the pros. Can be played solo without being pure torture. Combat controls are solid, weapon variety is good, and all feels satisfying to use. You can even pick weapons from your fallen enemies and use them for the rest of the mission, and they drop ammo. You can pick and shoot from covering, making simple by aiming down the sides, while hugging a corner or crouch behind something, which is very useful since even on normal difficulty enemy damage is nothing to scoff at. Health regenerates after a few seconds behind the cover as long as you aren't still taking hits in the process of fallen teammates can be revived if you get to them in time. They have 2 level timer. First is bleeding out. At this point they can still fire their secondary weapon in the last stand sort of instance. Seconds is actually dying, and when that depletes they run. During course you will play, your rank will up, your boss level. This carries over from the playthrough to playthrough, making things a bit more advantageous at the start of the run, while not making it cake walk either, as well as unlocking stuff for multiplayer weapon character skins. As of right now, all currently available DLCs is free and it's not utterly useless like a bunch of cosmetics. No, this is more meaty, I'm talking more weapons and missions free of charge. That's almost unheard of these days, where most companies will try to charge you extra just to have the privilege of playing the base game fully. I discovered that was just for a set amount of time, so it might be over by the time some of you are watching this. If I remember, I'll try to update this into the next review process for it once they're out. About the debatable, light bolts are a mixing bag. If you play Payday 2, you probably already know better than to count of them very much. This isn't very different. Still, I never felt like they were utterly useless. You can direct them to the desk and they will loot or return stuff to the van without being constantly told to do so. They also will come and aid either you or each other if down through. It appears for some players and this hasn't been the case. Not being able to mark cards, cameras or civilians can make the threat assessment on a mission a bit tricky, and it won't be uncommon to fail to notice something when you make a move and then have what might have been a smooth stealth run to go hell. That much being said, if you place yourself and keep your ears open, you can generally hear the cameras, and the guards are always twisting or talking about the races, so you can generally tell if either of those two are near if you don't see them. Furthermore, for the better or worse, the game gives you infinite zip ties and body bags and guards. Don't grow suspicious if you substitute them one by one and tie them up. Though oddly enough, killing them even silently instantly makes the other become suspicious. A bit of oversight there one way or another. Flashbangs are brutal in this. If caught by one, you will be stuck with a quiet screen for at least 5 agonizing seconds and another 20 with blurred vision and drunken aim. Now this only